In this video, I want to talk to you about how I got back to jumping pain-free in my 30s after tearing my meniscus at 17, after having surgery at 23, and then neglecting my knees all the way until 29, where I learned this system, and now it's allowing me to jump every single week at 34, soon to be 35, without pain, even though the doctor told me I'd be destined for arthritis, and the situation that I'm in now would not be possible. But it is possible. So the first thing is that I build from the ground up, right? And that was the first thing that I realized when I started training my body with the goal of dunking, right? So when I learned these principles from my mentor, the knees over toes guy, it's like, okay, now I wanted to dunk because I ran 10:48 on the torn meniscus. So I'm like, all right, I know I can run fast. Yeah, I still am going to run more, but dunking is such a clear display. Jumping, period, is such a clear display of knee ability. And that's what I wanted. So my goal was to dunk on a 10-foot rim off the meniscus. So now that I'm jumping each and every single week, working on both directions, going left to right and right to left, the first thing was building from the ground up. So when I started this journey, after tearing my meniscus, I also had a high ankle sprain and I pulled my hamstring multiple times on that left side. So not realizing how weak my feet were was a huge gap. So when I first started trying to jump, just trying to put that force into the ground, right? So you have a weak knee, a weak hip, and weak ankles. There was no force. There was no amount of strength that I could have put above my knee with my quad and hamstring and my glute that would have offset the fact that my tib was weak, would have offset the fact that my calf was weak. So the first thing was measurably getting strong through the ability to flex my feet up with a tibialis raise and through calf raises, both straight leg and bent knee. There's so many different ways you could train your calves, but literally doing both of those calf raises, straight leg and bent knee, and also with the tibialis, measurably bringing that strength up has made a major difference. Like the first goal that I set was like, let me be able to do about 25% of my body weight for 20 reps on a tib raise, right? For great first standard. And on the calves, it's like around 25. Like if you could do 25% of your body weight, let's say with a dumbbell in each hand, that's a good standard for your lower leg strength as well. Maybe 10 to 12 reps. You kind of could play around with that. But just measurable strength with the muscles beneath my knee was the first pillar, because it's like having a car with a big, strong, powerful engine that's on ball tires, right? Like, and if the tires are low, now we're riding on rims. So it doesn't even matter how much power is in the engine. It's not going to matter because that force cannot be absorbed on the ground. So that's was the first thing, is like, let me measurably get the muscles beneath my knee, which is going to be the first things that make contact in the ground. Let me get those stronger than they've ever been in my life. Now I'm jumping each and every single week without pain. And one of the things that I looked at in last year's NBA, just on this side note, was how many Achilles ruptures there were. Now, I don't know how all those guys were training, but I know a lot of them do not train their calves and they jump a lot. They play a lot. And this is one of the first noticeable things that I notice on the athletes that I train, right? They're playing the game a lot. They're very skilled, but it seems like going to the weight room seems to be less and less of a priority. But that's how you stay in the game, right? You stay in the game. You stay with the ability to jump by physically training your body, going to the body shop, aka the gym or your home gym, wherever you're at. But it is the strength training that allows us to jump. It's not just about jumping all the time, sprinting all the time. That's not going to physically change your body. It's about the strength to physically become a totally different person. That's what's going to show up when it's time to jump. The second thing was restoring the full range of motion. So again, I tore my meniscus. So my left knee could not fully bend. So a huge priority was getting my left knee to bend and then getting flat ground on my ATG split squat. And then I started adding weight. I added weight in between that. Sometimes I'm not all the way flat ground. Sometimes my foot is a little elevated. Either one you could play around with. The number one thing is that full bending with measurable weight and perfect form, right? Without pain. Because if there's pain, right, and we just keep pushing through pain, or we let one side be way stronger than the other and it's not even, like the left's way greater than the right, these are all the things that cause the confusion, where it's no, like it has to be so even amongst both sides. Because who wants a stronger right arm than a left arm? Like if we keep letting these things go on, it just will continuously have us confused and not feel like you could get back. Cause I promise you, I'm 34. I just watched the dunk man competition and there's a guy that's 40 around my height. I think Dunk Chin, and he's jumping out the gym. Now, I don't know if that's how far you want to take it. I can't say that I can guarantee that I get you there, but I'm jumping without pain through this process that I'm talking about. And I'm enjoying my life as a 34-year-old father and husband, still able to jump and inspire my son. Cause he's like, wow, look at my dad. He's really jumping. So it's a very priceless feeling. And like I said, I ran track, but it ain't nothing like you're jumping up and punching that thing. But the first thing before I even got to the jumping was the measurable strength through the full range of motion, bending each knee, and then eventually squatting all the way down, cheeks to sneaks. This is one standard that I'm comfortable with. Other people got different standards. Listen to me, listen to them, look at how they move and operate, and you make the decision for yourself, right? I'm not here to convince anybody. I thank God that I have the ability to do the things that I want. And that was a big part for me, right? Because I'm a believer. And that was a big reason why I knew I didn't have to settle for having bad knees, and I didn't have to settle for what a doctor told me was possible for me, because I've been creating the image of God. You have too. I don't know if you believe that, but it means something bigger than settling for the problems that are in front of you. It means that you can rule over these issues. It means that if you face them, right, you can actually overcome them, and they're in your life for a reason, and they can make you better. You know, that was one of the things that was hard for me to understand when I first was dealing with my knee issue. I felt like it was, I don't want to say it was a curse, but it definitely felt heavy. And as a believer, it's like, this is why I follow Christ, because it's like my little knee pain. Come on now. Now, through my prayer, I was shown how to heal my body using these principles that I'm talking about from my mentor, the knees over toes guy. And 5 years later, almost 6 years now, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm excited to jump even higher this year, heading to 35. And then after that, I'm going to get back on the track, start sprinting, running more hundreds. And I plan on running for the rest of my life. Right? As long as the Lord keeps putting breath in my lungs, I'm going to be on that track doing athletic stuff. But the first thing is to be able to get up there and dunk on each and every single direction. Right now off of 2 legs, because I'm definitely more of a 2-foot jumper. I had to just kind of realize this because I was hurt for so long. I'm like, let me just get these 2-leg jumps down. I already got half of it done. I went right to left several times. I'd already punched that thing a few times. Now it's time for that left to right. I did one. I could count it. If I was being completely honest, I've technically already dunked left to right. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. The third and final thing is jumping, easing your way into it. So right now, one of my clients, right, because I get a lot of people that have been hurt. They've gone through things. They tried physical therapy. They tried other trainers. They tried surgery, some of them, and they're not quite all the way back. So when you have the measurable strength with your lower leg, and you can fully bend your knee. Hold on, sir. Can you just wait? You about to knock the camera over. All right. And when you have the full ability to bend each knee, then you can start to look at moving faster. Because here's the reality. If you don't ever start moving faster, you're not going to be prepared to jump. Okay. So then you can start with something small, low level plyos, the jumping and the plyometrics. Okay. So this is where you think about lightly getting into this. And I, just like with the sprinting, I only recommend starting with once a week. But before you even try to jump, seriously, literally make sure your form is so measurable and that you're not in pain. You're able to go through this full range of motion. If you're struggling with any of the things I'm talking about, I'm available. You can book a call with me, because the worst thing to do, y'all, is to try to figure this out by yourself, keep getting hurt, and try to watch the free videos and figure it all out, when all you can do is book a call and we can see how I can help you actually accomplish what you want. Because this is what I do. I've spent the last 5 years training so many different walks of life in person that I'm extending the same thing online, but I want to work with folks that are serious and that are coachable. If that's you, I promise you we can get results, but I want you to know that that's available. You can book a consultation call with me and we can spend that time to figure out where those gaps are to help you get back to jumping, if this is something that you want. But understand that in getting into jumping once a week, start very lightly. Jumping in place, depth jumps, jumping rope, skipping. All these low level plyometrics are going to allow us to regain the elasticity in our body, which is just the ability to jump and sprint and spring. And that's something that we lose because, again, when you only lift slow and heavy, that gives you the base to do the jumping. But without the jumping, without the moving faster, it's not going to quite transfer over the way we imagine. So again, recap. How did I get back to jumping pain-free in my 30s? The first thing was build from the ground up, measurable strength beneath my knees, with my tibialis, with my calves in both directions. The other thing was restoring full range of motion, meaning specifically being able to squat all the way down. And that started with the left knee first, then the right knee. Then I was able to put two legs together. Then you can look at other stuff like Nordics and back extensions, all these other moves. But first is dominating full range of motion with my own body weight, then adding weight. And then the third thing is slowly implementing faster movements, right? Some type of plyometric, hopping in place, simple depth jumps, being on top of something, landing, right? So not quite a plyo with a depth jump because it's slower, but it's beginning to help your body begin to trust you. Skipping, jumping rope, very simple tools that you can use to begin to feel better as you age, because I'm not a person that believes that just because you're 30 or 40 or 50, you can't sprint or jump anymore. I literally watch Masters Track and Field, and there's people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s doing the exact things I'm talking about: running, jumping, sprinting, throwing. So this is who I am. This is what I look forward to. I look forward to having this same ability for the remainder of my life. And if that's something that you're interested in, keep tuning in, book a consultation call. I'm here. See you next video. Let's go.